Hello, Mechwarriors, and welcome to the Mechbay, where we fix your mech and fix your game. Hello, Mechwarriors. I'm your host, Josh, and today I've got with me my co-hosts, Dustin and Denham.
What's up, guys?
Hi.
And I figured after last episode's crunch-filled tactic talk, we are going to break it down with our thoughts on mechs we hate, mechs we'd love to hate, and the ugly ducklings of the tabletop. But first, as always, to get that battle mech coolant flowing, let's start off with some hobby news, hobby progress, and some fan mail. So first off, my big hobby news is I have checked something that I've meant to check off since I started this podcast, which is start a BattleTech event calendar.
Oh, yes. Thank you.
Me on the Origins of BattleMech and WolfNet Radio podcast are aware of this Google Doc sheet, and we all have permissions to add and to remove events. So let any of us know. Send us an email, send us a message, do anything. Raise your hand really loudly from across the country, and I will maybe hear you. No promises. And I will get this added to it, and I will keep this updated. They will keep this updated. Whoever has an event, we will add this to it, and it has where it is, when it is, what it is, if it's Classic or Alpha Strike, a link to the event notes, essentially, and we will keep this on our podcast show notes. So if you go to our episodes and just go to the description, it'll be down there. You can find it. And we just want to do this so everyone, as we start rolling out of the pandemic, can find games to play.
So you want me to put my bi-monthly games that I do at Hangar 18 on there, right?
But yeah, so this is more for tournaments like the Southern Assault by Fortress Miniatures and Games, the Battle Barn from WolfNet Radios, events that are going to bring people that are not just regional at your local game store. These are going to be 10 plus, 20 plus tournaments, big events that are, I don't want to say worth traveling to, because I feel like everyone should be traveling to as much BattleTech as they can, but these are going to be organized events. And I will be announcing as they come up on here. So the two we have right now are the Southern Assault, which is on November 6th and 7th, and that's by Fortress Miniatures and Games, and Operation Bulldog on November 20th, and that is in the United Kingdom, and that's in the Southeast in Gravesend. And like I said, you can find the link to that in our show notes, or on WolfNet Radio's Discord, or on the Origins Discord. Next, an update on the Barnes & Noble Wolves Dragoons pack. I feel like we need to do a slight correction. Catalyst put out a note that the Wolves Dragoons Assault Star was developed for Barnes & Noble, and they say that it will be exclusive to them. And then once all Barnes & Noble orders are fulfilled, then it will be sold on Catalyst and to all their international resellers. What we found out is during the con level Kickstarter chat, a couple of the cons saw that post, pointed it out to Ray, that it contradicted what they had been told previously, which is that it is a Barnes & Noble true exclusive. So currently it's in contention. So right now, the only thing we can say is the only place we know for 100% sure you can get this is Barnes & Noble.
But Barnes & Noble.
Yeah, well, I mean, I was going to wait till my local shop got it, but I admit that as soon as I heard that, I just went ahead and pre-ordered it. So I'm getting it through Barnes & Noble just to make sure.
But right now, the only confirmed, absolute, with no uncertainty way to get it is Barnes & Noble. So if you are desperate for one, find someone with a Barnes & Noble store near them, or just pre-order it online.
And if you have a Barnes & Noble membership, then you get free shipping. So
in addition to that, we've slowly been seeing more Wave 2 landing in retail. I think all of us saw a bunch of boxes land at a store nearby before it was picked clean like a Mad Dog / Vulture's carcass.
It was amazing because there were so many boxes, and then by the next day they were just all gone.
Are they all gone?
They're all gone.
They're all gone. That's incredible. I mean,
I thought that they would last at least 36 hours. They did not.
I got in on that. And when I got home, my wife asked me how much everything costs, and I told her more than $10.
Yes.
It's all good news. If the Lance packs are selling well, that means they're making money, which means we'll get more product, and the vicious consumerism cycle will continue into the happy sunset over the horizon. where I die buried with thousands of mechs inside of my coffin.
Just remember, buying and acquiring mechs is still hobby progress.
That's right.
I know I will be picking up some new infantry and battle armor models from Fortress Miniatures and Games. They've got those sweet resin 3D printed ones, and I just can't wait to use those at the tournament. But talking with Ares Games and Miniatures, apparently the hard-to-find box right now is the Clan Heavy Star, and that's the one with the Warhammer 2C, the Marauder 2C, and Behemoth and the Supernova, the big boys, essentially.
Yeah.
That is the... If you ordered 10, you might get 2 at your store.
That's what I hear too.
As of right now, they have their second shipment coming, and pre-orders are up at Ares Games and Miniatures. So get your stuff, and secure that dropship before it lands. That is going to be the lost tech, I feel, items of the Kickstarter. I don't know if it's just on the production side or...
Oh, I heard a reason. I just can't remember enough of it to be able to quote you, but I know that they are fixing that situation, and more will be on the way sooner than later.
That's good.
One release that did come out this week is the Battlefield support deck. Mr. Lucky Denham himself snagged a couple of those.
The Battlefield support deck, I had ordered off of the Catalyst website when they came out, and they're still there. I think they're $10 a piece. But it is like one deck is for one person. So if both people are going to be playing with Battlefield support, it is highly recommended that each person have a deck. And all it really is in the Battle Mech manual, under special case rules, there are rules for easy airstrikes, artillery, minefields, things like that. Things that I really think go a long way to balance an inner sphere versus clan battle. You know, if the inner sphere has all of these minefields and air support like they would if they were the defending units, you can really lighten up on the tonnage, but have other things like pre-calculated artillery and heavy minefields all over, and your air force on the airport a couple miles away ready to go.
I really liked how I saw one of the cards, and it was the minefield one. It had what it did, the dice roll you needed, and everything right there. And like, that's a perfect, I don't have to dig through a book to look at. Like, I just...
Exactly. It's not a card game type thing. Like the initiative deck has weird things on it that are fun that you could play with. These are not like that. These are just a helpful way. They've got the point cost on there. So everybody decides how many Battlefield support points they get, and then you go through your card deck and you pick out the ones that you're going to want for your battle, and those cards are in front of you, so you can flip them out and use them whenever you want. And it tells you what they are. Just like you said, you don't have to go flipping through a book. All the rules are there, and it just lets you use them, and it's like magic. They did include 6 other cards that just have the rules. So if you aren't sure about the rules, you pick up one of the blue cards, and it tells you, this is how offensive aerospace support strikes work. And then you can pull out your aerospace cards and use those. So it's really nice. I really like it. I went ahead and got 2 decks just in case my opponent wanted some and didn't have any. But I think it's going to take something that they did a really good job of putting it in the Battle Mech manual, but making it even more accessible and therefore more usable. And I think the games are going to be a lot more fun with it.
Yeah, if you have to crack open the Total Warfare, yeah.
Those rules are a little bit more advanced. Like these, it's kind of the same rules, but the rules in the Battle Mech manual are what they call simplified. But what they mean by simplified isn't you're not losing anything from the Total War book. It's just easier to read and easier to follow, and it makes a little bit more sense. And it's all in one place. You don't have to look around as much. So you're right. Yeah, you don't want to.
It's all good. You don't want to.
If you've got the Total War book, you're covered.
Yep.
But you're going to want to put sticky notes on all the pages that you're going to want to flip back and forth through. Mm-hmm. But this deck makes it all go away.
The card just says light density minefield.
Right. It shows the target number. It shows the damage value grouping. It shows the damage type, and it shows the cost in points for because you could take 5. Everybody gets 5 battlefield support points for the game, or everybody gets 35. Just depending on how much extra stuff you want. Now, if it's 35, a light minefield is only half a point. So you could end up spreading 70 minefields around the map with that. So you might want to talk to your opponent beforehand and find out what the limitations are that you want to play with, if you want any limitations.
All good things in reasonable portions.
I will tell you, nothing ruins a dasher who's with a full complement of elementals day than finding out that all the roads to behind your force are covered by minefields.
I'm writing that down right now for the next time I play Kurt.
Yes, I was thinking of Kurt when I was looking through it.
But no, that looks like a great way to get tactical for any clan invasion and even beyond game.
100%.
But another release is the recognition guides are back on track with number 19. The fun mechs were that was the Rhyme Otter, which is a new Ghost Bear Dominion mech for medium. Yeah, it's medium. Looks pretty nice. It's very balanced. Like the last ones that they've gotten have been, I think the word is extremely pricey, BV and C-bills wise. But this looks like a normal, good.
What do we got? Do we got forward knees, backward knees? We got hands, no hands, missile pods. Did you see a picture of it?
Yeah, the Otter just looks kind of like a chunky, thick boy. It's got LRM, ZR Large, Artemis 5, Streak SRM6. It's like I said, it's a pretty chunky. Yeah.
Was this number 19?
Yeah, this was 19.
Okay, I just bought it. I got it. It's in front of me now. Just downloaded. Rhyme Otter. Rhyme Otter has forward knees. Is that what you're asking about?
Yeah. Does it have hands?
It does not have hands.
It has guns for hands.
Does it have elbow gun hands?
Yes.
Okay. It does have elbows.
It doesn't have shoulder guns.
It kind of looks like a 55-ton Warhammer to me.
It does.
Interesting. Interesting.
Yeah.
Warhammer Jr., Pocket Warhammer.
I was like, the scorpion picture is apparently the sexiest picture of a scorpion ever created.
It's on page 9, and it does look beautiful. I can't wait for them to make that mini.
It's coming your way.
It better
probably.
Then the Iron Cheetah has backward knees. It has elbows but no hands.
I think it's awesome that the Iron Cheetah, one of the fan fiction, what if we took a direwolf and made it faster, is now an official mech, and I think that's hilarious.
It's a 4.6 instead of a 3.5?
Yep.
100 tons?
Yep.
Interesting.
But it's got some elementals standing all over it in the picture.
The other ones, we got a new Cougar, a new Mercury, a new Spider, and a new Orion C2. So a little something for everyone in that one.
Man, the Mercury is a 1218.
Fast.
20 tons, but it's got firepower. 2 ER mediums, 2 ER smalls.
But no, I was driving home and I look over while I'm at the stoplight and the person's like vanity license plate says Jewelbot, and all I could think was the rec guides, and I was like, is that one of the new Smoke Jaguar mechs, like the Jewelbot 9000? Like,
wouldn't that be awesome?
Does it just like blow straight clouds of cotton? Like, is that what they do now? Like, I don't know. The Nova Cats, or not the Nova Cats, the Smoke Jags, like they went away, and is this what the 2021 versions of them do?
Did they though? Did they?
Read Forever Faithful. The next new big miniature news is the Stormcrow from Creative Juggernaut is coming up for pre-order on the 22nd. So by the time you hear this, set your alarms, people. It's going to be $24.99, and you will get the B variant with the Ultra AC 20 and 6 ER mediums, or the TC variant with a Gauss and 4 ER mediums and a targeting computer.
Or if you do what I did and you put magnets in the shoulders, you have both variants.
Both variants. Yeah. A UAC 20 and 6 ER meads on a light frame with jump jets. Nice.
What do you guys think about that? I mean, we have the Black Knight, which is, I want to say, much more different with a full sword and more posable.
I really, really, really want Creative Juggernaut to do a Timberwolf with the A variant in it. So I want an official Timberwolf A. So I will buy whatever they put out.
Goddamn A.
Shut up. I will buy whatever they put out in order to keep that company going in case they decide to do that. And I've sent them an email asking for it already.
If you do a Timberwolf A, I will order $5,000 worth of it.
At this point, I think we could just pay someone to 3D design.
Well, I mean, but like Dustin, I have this weird thing about sure, I'll take a 3D printed one, but if they came out with an official one, I would buy that in a heartbeat. Even if I had exactly, I want the Canon design when they have them. 3D prints all day long, whatever. But a Canon one, I will still buy immediately.
I know for me, the Stormcrow doesn't really do it for me. Like, to me, I don't see as much of a difference between just proxying this one or these variants from the box set ones, but some people really like it, and I think it looks pretty cool. Like, being able to switch out the big gun versus the other big gun, I guess.
I had fun with the magnets. That was my first time ever doing magnets on a mech, so just for that alone, I was happy to have one.
Nice. Justin, are you going to pick one up?
Nope. I'm not super into the Black Knight or the Stormcrow. Kind of in your. I don't think I dislike it as much as you do, but
I don't dislike it. It doesn't do anything for me. Like, This is not a visual.
I think my biggest issue is that they haven't come out with a mech variant or a mech chassis that I'm super into yet. If this was on the shelf somewhere at the local game store, I might be tempted to impulse buy it, but ordering it online, I'm just like not gonna do that, especially since I got my Black Knight now.
Yeah, $24.99 is a whole new map or a whole box set if you can find those.
Well, I mean, I'm willing to pay for it. It's the ordering. Like if I go to a local game store and they happen to have one on the shelf, like I will probably get it. But I don't know if anybody's carrying that stuff yet. So time will tell.
This hobby is my Pokemon. I've got to catch them all.
Gotta catch them all. Yeah. Yep.
You have one of your own mechs that you've been working on, Dustin.
Yeah. So I was in preparation for designing another important mech that we need to design. And by I mean I went ahead and designed my claw jobber from our episode we recorded a couple months ago, I guess.
Pimp My Mech.
Pimp My Mech, yeah. So I made it. It's inspired. I think you can see what it's inspired by. But yeah, I had a lot of fun making the mech. Learned a lot about the program I'm designing in, and I'm ready to move on. In fact, my hobby progress outside of... Are we in the hobby process? We're not.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah. So I did some based / Zenithal stuff on some of my new Kickstarter stuff. Got to finish up some Alpha Galaxy stuff for the tournament. Worked on that too. Also designing mechs in the meantime for Gamma Wolves, kind of a modular mech system thing I'm doing, and waiting on some other stuff. I guess is kind of under wraps right now. And yeah, 3D design. I like to 3D design. I like to paint. I like to print. So I'm doing lots of that lately.
Nice.
Well, I was impressed. I look forward to getting mine. Oh, before we get too far away from the Battlefield support deck, I also wanted to mention that I did pick up a set of tactical dice, and they were slightly different than what I was expecting, but I think they have a really good niche for people who will be getting into the game.
How is that?
Well, the tactical dice, it turns out, are sets of dice. You can either get the Clan Star or the Inner Sphere Lance, and each one is a little baggie that comes with a pair of normal size dice, like you'd use to roll the 2-hit or location. Then they have a bunch of little mini dice, which would be in black, white, and red for the walking, running, and jumping movement modifiers behind a die, or behind a mech. The nifty thing is that the Inner Sphere one has 4 sets of those, and the Clan one has 5 sets. So if you know someone who's just getting into the game, this is a nice set of dice to buy them. A lot of us, though, already have enough of the dice. Like I've got bricks of the movement modifier dice, so I couldn't see me like getting a bunch of these sets for all of my mechs. But for someone just getting into the game, like if you're trying to get a friend into it and you get them they just got the box set, buying them a set of these, it's a nice way of introducing movement dice, and they'd have a whole set for their whole lance.
It's a stocking stuffer.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was going to say. Is it looks like it would make a perfect stocking stuffer, and I think they're $10 or less, so it's even priced right for stocking stuffers.
Yeah, for all the people you want to force. I mean, bring into classic BattleTech.
So many.
Let's take a quick break and hear a word from our intercepted HPG transmissions. Presenter, we have intercepted the transmission from the Diamond Shark clan merchants. Well, put it on screen.
Star Colonel Catherine, how do I grow up big and strong like you?
Well, Rystar, you must fight well and be honorable in your Sipco. But most importantly, you must remember to eat all of your Korinskios. They are packed full of protein and power in every bite to make sure that you grow up to be the best warrior.
I want to be the best, just like the Great Father when I grow up and get my blood name.
Indeed, Kerenskios. They are clantastic.
Devious indeed, indoctrinating the use of their genetic enhancements to their children. Their ways are truly alien to us. All right, and we are back. So any mech warrior worth his sea bills has piloted a mech that he'd rather see in the salvage pile. Whether it's the aesthetic, the tactics, or just the loadout, there's a reason to ask why. So, Dustin, what are some reasons why you won't like a mech on the table?
Well, like I've said before, I like to play this game with my feelings. So if a mech doesn't make me feel right, I won't like to put it on the table. But sometimes a mech will be bad and make me feel good, and I'll put it on the table even though it sucks. So
what about you, Denham? What sets aside the ugly ducklings of the tabletop to you?
It's a tough question, of course. It's not always is the mech good or bad. I would say that, I mean, I'm a fan of the ShadowHawk a lot. I like it a lot. It's a horrible mech, but I love it. So some of the mechs that I hate aren't bad mechs. They just aren't good mechs for me. It's my play style. It's how I imagine using them. And if I can't find a good way to use them in a variety of situations, then they go to the bottom of my list.
That sounds perfectly reasonable. Considering Battletech exists in books, in games, and then on the tabletop, you're going to have some things that are good in some versions of those and terrible in others.
Right. Yeah, there's like a cost to taste ratio I'm looking for with performance and battle value on the table. And a mech could suffer in that category or do well in that category and be ugly or be good looking and perform poorly. And I'll love to hate those mechs, that's for sure.
I think it really boils down to aesthetics, play style, in-lore reputation, and cost, whether it be C-bills or BV, are the main reasons why people won't like a mech. So we're going to do a mini deep dive on a couple mechs that most of us own and how it operates on the table, how it makes us feel like when we play with it, whether it does good or bad. And then we're all going to kind of discuss our thoughts on it and why that person is wrong in how they feel or how they're right. To kick things off, I'm going to start with the Thorn battle mech. If you don't know, it's a 20-ton Star League era mech, and its main equipment is 2 medium lasers and an LRM-5 in the introductory tech version.
That LRM-5 makes its way onto a lot of different mechs. Just a single LRM-5.
Yeah, it's
far superior to an AC-2, I know.
The question is why do I have a custom-made Thorn and I still don't like to play with it? That is mainly for me, it's a faction special. It's, like I said, one of those rare Star League mechs that kind of got second life during the clan invasion, which I figured, considering that's where we still are in our podcast episodes, figured I might bring it up. It goes from 2 medium lasers and LRM-5 to an ERPPC, and I think that's just a crazy tonnage and damage swing for 20 tons. Now, the roles that it tries to have on the table that I feel that it's actually bad at is a sniper or a missile boat, and yeah, exactly. It's a 6'9" movement profile, which for a light, I know Denham said that is what he considers the bare minimum for speed, right?
Yeah, it's a little slow for me, but you know, I'd rather it be faster.
Yeah.
I would rather it be able to get at least a +4 on its movement modifier.
I do think some of the variants are cool. Like, they look good on paper, but I still feel struggle. Like, the Royal Thorn has mask and an ER large laser instead of the missiles. Like, it realizes it can't do the missile support role and drops it completely. And I feel like that has a little bit more promise, because then you're taking it from 6'9" to 6'12" if you run, and it's got maxed armor, so you can't really ask for anything better than that.
Yeah, having the mask really helps, because 6'9", especially on a 20-tonner with, you know, how light the armor is, like the Locust has got a better idea what it's supposed to be doing, and it's different variants. But throwing the mask on there is like kind of a band-aid. That's good.
Yeah, it brings it up to the ability to get a +4. So, I mean, that checks off a box for me.
Yeah, you don't always need to boogie with your light mechs, so turning on, flipping the switch and, you know, going turbo when you need to.
I'm happy with that compromise.
Variant I have that I modeled up using some salvage from Ares Minis and Games when I ordered like a whole bunch of stuff the little salvage yard where you just get like one piece of a mech is it has the turret of a hussar and the body of the thorn to get the kinslaughter ERPBC.
There you go.
And I'm like, that's awesome. It's 20 tons with a 7-ton gun on it. Like, what is not to love about this? And what's not to love is if you miss that shot, which you will a lot, it's wasted BV.
Yeah.
I still think it's a great sniper, but when I'm rolling dice, it is the all-in-one, and even with a ERPBC, you're not going to be hitting that much with it.
At least with the ERPPC and does that one have mask?
No, that one.
Okay, well, never mind. I was going to say, at least with the ERPPC, when you get the mask to go around behind a mech, you don't have a minimum range to deal with. But if it doesn't have mask, it's too slow. So never mind.
Yeah, they threw double heat sinks on this one, which is good, but considering it only has an ERPBC and a small laser, it's under normal load, you will never see heat until you take engine damage or someone shoots at you with flamers or infernos. But if someone is shooting at you, you don't have the armor to really fight back. When I use this, I normally put it, I don't want to say behind the second wave, but that's where it belongs. It doesn't have the armor. It has the speed to kind of find the lanes of fire to support the first line mechs. But if I put this anywhere close to medium range for any other gun, it's bad. So I'm normally hitting at 8s or higher with it if I am hitting.
It's times like this that it's a little bit sad that mechs cannot block fire from other mechs because of the size of the hexes. So he can't even hide behind a bigger mech on the way up there. But I guess that's something we'll save for our Battletech 2.0 podcast.
We keep hyping it up. It's never going to live up to expectations now.
And we got to do our controversies. Yeah.
But so ways that I feel like it could be fixed is like it has the newest variant. It only has a few variants, and the one in 3071 I think is kind of gets back to the original variant. It has an MML 7 and with 2 tons of ammo and an ER small. So that is the
like MMLs.
Yeah, that's either a really hard hitting SRM 7 or a good long range mix between an LRM 10 and an LRM 5.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
No. I will take that version just because it is cheap and I'm getting exactly what I pay for, which is a walking MML 7.
Yep.
Yeah.
Does it have any other weapons, did you say?
1 ER small. That is
okay.
Yeah, it does not
true to form.
Yeah, it has 2 tons of ammo, so you can take 1 LRM and 1 SRM.
Does an ER small or sphere ER small do 5 points of damage?
No.
Okay, so if it loses,
I don't know.
If it loses the MML 7, then it is technically enforced withdrawal if you're playing those rules.
3 damage.
Then lose the MML 7, and it is off the board if you're playing with those rules.
Yeah, at that point, I don't think this is a mech that could get into force withdrawal without just dying, just due to the amount of armor. Like I said, it's max armor for a 20-tonner.
Which still isn't much.
Which is not a lot. But yeah, what I would love to see is like a clan tech just due to the lighter weights. Like the weight is the only issue. It's teeny tiny and it needs some very lightweight things. It already has the XL. It already has Endo. You can't get much more lightweight on the systems.
So it's light, but it's expensive.
Yeah.
Which, another issue.
But yeah, I like it as the sniper role. I feel like it could go back to the missile support role and just fully commit to that.
All right. So does anyone actually like this mech? Or are we going to agree that Josh is right in hating it?
See, I don't hate it. I don't hate it enough to have, like I said, a custom one.
That's not the name of this podcast.
But if I were to give it to you as a gift, you would say, thanks. I hate it.
Oh, I put it on my shelf, but I wouldn't use it.
Exactly.
I mean, I feel like it's similar and dissimilar to the Hornet because it's another useless, like very light Star League mech. The Hornet is a 585 with a LRM5 medium laser and small laser, if memory serves, for the intro tech version. And without a jumping jack pilot in it, it's like a hot pile of chaff. But yeah, I mean, is it endearing to you? Why do you love to hate the Thorn? Do you like its aesthetic and hate everything else about it?
I like that it's one of those few mechs that got the Tukiid special treatment. Like,
Yeah.
they were like, hey, we have these lying around. We sold a bunch of them to the Draconis Combine because they're cheap. We spent the time to rebuild the Indo-Steel structure so they wouldn't have that. But then we put an ERPVC on it. And I'm like, that just seems weird. That seems like a lot of time wasted for a 20-ton mech.
Fast Panther.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. It's a fast, grounded Panther, too. It doesn't even have the jump jets.
Oh, yeah.
I know that would like vastly change its character if you added jump jets or change the engine size. But yeah, it's tough. It's tough being a thorn without jump jets. Or
can it even be a thorn in your side?
Yeah,
it's one of those mechs that I would ignore for most of the battle.
Yeah. Okay, so everyone agrees that thanks, I hate it on the thorn.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
How do you have you had a chance to put any of the variants on the table?
I've done a few of the regulars and the ERPPC one, and
nice.
The ERPPC one, like I said, does enough if it is in the perfect position and the enemy feels bad for it.
Yeah.
Other than that,
Denham said he would ignore it. So
exactly. Like when he said that, I was like, "Aw, it's sad but true." So it is the sniper that looks either too cute or too pathetic to draw any attention to it. Let's move on to Dustin. So Dustin, what is a mech that you have but you also hate?
So I'll go with a couple clan chassis today. I have the Adder. I love the Adder's aesthetic, and I feel like it suffers in its role. So the Adder is definitely a sniper. It's a light sniper, but I still feel like it is easily harassed because it's slow-ish, and it's easily destroyed because it's a light mech. So I feel like the Adder is in this weird in-between of either being able to generate enough of a target movement modifier to use that as its armor. It is max armor, basically, so it just suffers from being a light mech, a light mech sniper. I feel like light mech snipers need to be maneuverable, right? And the Adder is not very maneuverable, especially without jump jets.
I feel like this is just the clan's version of the Thorn ERPPC.
I mean, maybe.
But it has two clan ERPPCs, which is not bad.
And a targeting computer, and that makes a big difference.
It does. It does.
Now, you're just talking normal game, not with the quirks, because I think quirks it cannot torso twist, but it has a low profile. So if somebody gets a glancing blow on it, it only does half damage.
Oh, interesting.
I've played it both ways, and the survivability with that low profile is incredibly high. I was hit with an Ultra AC-20, and I only took 20 points instead of 40 points because it was a glancing blow both times.
Yeah, I've played with quirks on a Time of Total Warfare game where I was running some mech, and we used quirks because you have less mechs on the table, and you're building a narrative for those mechs. But yeah, if it's not standard rules in the battle mech manual, typically I'm not playing with it. So
if we're just talking normal, I think it's a very good sniper because of the targeting computer. The fact that if somebody is stops for a second or is immobile, it can use those two ERPPCs with the targeting computer to just blow off a leg or blow off an arm with a big weapon, or hit that torso with both ERPPCs. I mean, that's 30 points of damage in one spot that you get to pick. And if you're not using it to blow off a leg, it just makes it's a +1 to hit or a -1 to hit, like every time.
Yeah.
So I actually like the Adder a lot. So it's not one that I love to hate. It's just one that I like.
Just one that you like in general. I also don't like that it's pretty expensive. I basically never take the Prime because it is so incredibly expensive. I think it's like 2,200 BV or something like that. 21?
2,000 plus.
2,000 plus. I normally take the A, which is cheaper. Some of the influence of the mechs that I love to hate is that I'm typically building a 5,000 to 7,500 battle value list. So that kind of skews the clan mechs that I'm typically putting on the table, especially because I like to play fluffy. And so I'm putting 5 of some units, padding out with battle armor typically. / battle armor is good, so just use it. But yeah, I throw the A on the field too, which switches those ERPPCs out for the LRMs, LRM20s, 2 of them. And I still find that, maybe I'm playing it wrong, but I still feel like it's not maneuverable enough. It does its sniping well until it gets killed, even by like counter battery fire, or counter sniper fire.
I do think that one of the reasons why you don't like it, Dustin, is because you hate to go up on the heat scale. And if you play that right, you're going to have to get hot.
Oh, yeah. No, on the Prime, yeah. I think it's what you do 2, 1, 2.
Yeah, it's a volley fire.
It's a volley
or
fire.
staggered volley. Yeah.
Or it's I've got a really good shot. I'm going to shut down this turn, but hopefully take someone with me. Yes.
You're coming with me, pal.
But the answer is, Dustin, we have to play more games together.
Absolutely. We have to play at least one game where it's just you versus me.
I agree.
Yeah, so I think once again, adding jump jets or changing the engine largely changes the character of a mech, but I think it just needs more speed tank to make it better. But I've heard Denham tell me what he likes about it. Josh?
I mean, this is, if my Thorn was this, I would never ask for anything else.
You're like, how could you score this?
It has the same speed.
It doesn't jump.
It doesn't jump, so it's exactly. It's got max
more armor.
It's more armor, and it's twice as much damage.
Well, if we have more than 3 times as much damage.
Oh yeah, because Endersphere ERPPC is 10. These are 2 at 15 damage each. So
yeah. But how much does the Thorn cost?
The Thorn costs 700.
Yeah, you can buy 3 or maybe even 4. Yeah, it's insanely expensive
because it's good. Now, would you take out the target computer and put in mask?
That's something I hadn't thought of.
Mask and a couple more heat sinks.
Mask and a couple more. No, I don't. I don't mind that the Prime is hot. I kind of like it. It's kind of like the awesome. You're doing that volley fire. I don't mind that. It's just I don't feel like a big part of what I said earlier is that cost to taste ratio, right? I feel like I don't get enough for what I'm paying for, especially with the Prime. It is so expensive.
Have you looked at the new variant from the Tukiyid book?
I have not.
The TC. That one is the Diamond Sharks version of making a Omni Piranha. And it has, I want to say, 8 machine guns, a large pulse, an anti-missile system, and a small pulse with the flamer.
This is an adder that has that? So it's a 690?
Yep.
It's probably cheaper.
It's 1,200 or 1,250. So almost half the cost.
Yeah, this is like I don't know. I would have to put it. I like the large pulse laser. Who doesn't? Especially on a 1,200 battle value body. I think we've talked about it before, but the clan large pulse laser is the most broken.
The TC has 10 machine guns, a small pulse laser, a large pulse laser, the flamer because it's fixed.
Yep, fixed flamer.
And an anti-missile system. It has a half ton of machine gun ammo in each arm.
Yeah.
And it still has a targeting computer.
I would love to put it on the table. It sounds like fun to me.
I think that large pulse is going to do most of the work, and the machine guns are there to take out infantry. Man, that's gross. Oh, that's scary.
I mean, yeah, say goodbye to all of the infantry.
Not battle armor, but just like regular Intersphere unarmored infantry.
Although with 10, I mean, and a targeting computer. Although, does a machine gun get the bonus from the targeting computer?
I know that the pulse lasers do, but you can't use them to target locations or something like that.
Correct. Oh, that's dirty. -2 plus the targeting computer, -3.
But the machine gun.
Yeah, because it's not direct ballistic. It's a burst fire. Yeah, burst fire. I don't think burst fire gets.
In that case, probably not.
Yeah, send us an email, shoot us a message on Discord, and let us know why we're wrong.
Yeah, because even if they hit with all the machine guns, the most they would be able to take out for battle armor, like elementals, would be 1.
Yeah, this is definitely
that's 20 damage.
A pure.
Yeah, and it would take 22 damage to take out 2.
You're right. Yeah.
This is a clan. Hey, we need to kill lots of infantry at Tukiyid. Unfortunately, they didn't make money of these, and I don't think they even used any to actually fight. They looked at this and were as disgusted with it as you are with the adder in general, Dustin, and said no.
Okay, looking at this though, I mean, it's got 100 rounds of machine gun ammo in each arm with case. Just go up and punch something, like punch the biggest mech you can find, and have the ammo explode, and just case out the fist, and
yeah,
you can take out 2 mechs. 2 mechs with this guy. 1 punch each, because that's 200 points of damage. Nothing's going to live through that no matter where you hit it. And then you go back and get 2 new arms. It's an Omni-Mech.
The
They're
1
good to
punch
go.
adder.
2 punch adder.
2 punch adder.
But yeah, so does this variant kind of fix your thoughts on the adder? Like,
No, it's too slow.
It's the speed that's the problem for you.
For this one, for the Prime variant, the speed's fine-ish. Like, it's borderline fine. I'm okay with it. But for this one, it's too slow.
It's too slow.
Anything with this many close range weaponry needs to
be a
go
little
faster.
Needs to be more of a knife fighter.
If you can't get behind a medium mech, then
The only one with jump jets is the L, and that's one of the new Ill-Clan Dark Age variants with
the streak LRMs.
Oh, streak LRMs. How many streak LRMs does it have?
4 streak LRM 5s.
That's not as good as 2 10s, but yeah, I was.
It also has 2 ER mediums and it's fixed flamer.
Yeah, there's some variant of, I think it's called a Strider, that has 2 streak LRM 10s, and it was just comical how many. It's a PSR machine.
That one's got ECM too.
Oh, no kidding. I love to hate it.
So do I hate the adder? No, I don't hate the adder. I think it's shoving as many heavy weapons onto a light mech as possible and giving the armor and the speed the second thoughts. What about you, Denham?
I like the adder. I mean, not as much as, say, a mongrel, but I like the adder a lot. I would take it. I would pick it for one of my forces, even if I didn't have to.
This guy is going to stand on the top of a hill, and he's going to dare you to come approach him.
He's literally the guy that I find the partial cover in heavy woods on a hill, and that's where he just parks it.
So, Dustin, you are wrong, and you are using it wrong, and you should feel bad.
I mean, until somebody's harasser comes and digs it out and kills it because it's a 35-ton mech.
Mm-hmm.
One lucky Gauss round goes internal.
And then you lost 3,000 battle value if you're using the Prime.
And I do. I do.
Alrighty. So, Denham, what is a mech that we love to hate?
Okay, this one, I'm going to say the Griffin, but I'm specifically talking about the 1N. That's one. That's your classic Griffin that has the PPC
and
the LRM 10.
And the jump jets.
It's 585 medium. It's got close to max armor. It's a solid mech. It looks great. It does. I love how it looks. It's one of the unseen, so it of course looks awesome. My big problems with it, the 1N version, is that all of its weapons have minimum ranges. So if it gets in close, it basically only has physical attacks, where even a ShadowHawk would have the advantage against it at knife fighting range. All of its weapons are on one side. That's great if you're playing a sim type game like Mechwarrior Online or Mercenaries 5, because you can take your shot and then you can twist to the left so that you're presenting your left side and you absorb a lot of damage, and you can get all your left arm and left torso all shredded up, but it doesn't matter because your weapons and ammo are on the right side. But in the board game, that's not as easy to do. It's a lot harder to keep one side presented and know that you're not going to get shot on either side. Because he's got a weapon on the right arm but not on the left, there's a blind side that you can go and stand in a particular spot that's behind him and to the left.
Yep.
And it doesn't matter how he twists his torso, he's not going to be able to get a shot off at you, and you can shoot him all you want. So because of those reasons, I think that he has too many flaws. He needs support at all times. He cannot go anywhere alone. He has to have a buddy at all times, or a much lighter mech, even a slow 6'9" light will be able to take him out. And that's why I don't like him. There are a lot of variants that fix that. I mean, if you put an ERPPC on there, that's a huge bonus because no minimum range on that. But the 1N as it is, it looks awesome. It's got great armor, but I hate it. I just can't. I don't like putting it in any of my units because it takes up another mech to babysit him.
That's a reasonable expectation. I mean,
this is so interesting. I feel like this is here's the turntables moment. And maybe it's because I've not played the people that Denham has played, but I feel like I've never had a Griffin be relentlessly harassed by a light mech. So my opinion might be skewed because that hasn't happened to me. But I feel like it's got the maneuverability with the jump. It's got tons of armor. The thing can take a beating, and I feel like it's fun to play around with the heat because, with the jump jets and the PPC and the LRM-10s, you can cool off by just firing off the LRM-10s. This is a mech that I love to love. I'm surprised that you hate it. I mean,
but I could take one of the worst light, like a Wasp or a Stinger. I mean, they're a 6.96 20-ton mech, and it would take a while because they have a medium laser and maybe an SRM or a machine gun. But it does. If it's a one-on-one battle, you can't win.
Whoa, he's got a squeezing arm. I think we are continuously discounting the left squeezing arm here.
If that Stinger or Wasp ever let him get to 1 hex away, yeah. But a good pilot wouldn't. And it's got the maneuverability. It goes 6.96, and Griffin only goes 5.85. In a one-on-one fight, I would put my money on the Stinger or the Wasp. And that's a lot of battle value balance that you're losing.
How would you fix this Griffin? Would you just swap the LRM to be an SRM?
But then he's not a Griffin.
This is the classic problem.
Because I know how I fix the Griffin. And that is
the Royal variant.
No, you don't go the Royal. The Royal is great. Like, don't get me wrong.
It's that 2 SRM6s and a ERPPC. That is a nice variant.
That's what I was alluding to. That is
men's.
Even
all
the
of your
Starleague.
problems solved.
Exactly. But no. You take the Super Griffin for cheaper VV. Don't laugh at me, Dustin. Don't you dare laugh at me in my house.
I've seen this thing. I've played this mech.
And for 5 extra tons, they get a little bit more armor. They drop the speed down to 4.6, but they put the prototype. They put improved prototype jump jet, so it's now a 4.66. So he's actually jumping more than the original Griffin.
And he can keep up with that Stinger.
So he can now keep up with the Stinger a little bit. But
what variant is this you're talking about?
The Super
Griffin.
I know, but what's do you know what the designation is?
Griffin.
Super Griffin.
Griffin 2N-X.
2N-X. Oh no, it is called the Super Griffin. I got it. I'm on the Mega Lab right now.
Yeah, you got to go to the experimental, the dirty sheets.
Yeah. So this is
Josh's favorite.
This isn't unofficial. At least it's just experimental.
Yeah, and the only thing experimental about it is the heat sinks. It has the weird prototype double heat sinks that can't fit inside the engine. So he has single heat sinks in the engine and duals on the exterior.
Yeah,
and
he also has improved jump jets, so he goes 4.66, and that's a big deal.
Yeah, correct. But those explode if they get critical hits.
Well, doesn't matter. The 6 jumping, that right there, makes it way better.
Yeah, we can keep up with the.
It also has a medium laser and a small laser, so it has
a medium laser on the left arm, which is what I was going to suggest. Like that will kill a Wasp or Stinger if you've got one thing on each arm.
Yeah. So
then it can't get in your blind spot.
Denham versus Dustin, first game, 1 Stinger versus 1 Griffin.
I am so excited about that. It's Solaris battle right now.
But yes, so anytime someone tells me, "Hey, do you like the Griffin?" I was like, "No, I like its weird inbred."
Weird. It's also 60 tons.
Yeah. Add 5 tons, yeah.
I feel like this is originally what they wanted the Griffin to be, just because the Griffin was originally marketed as a heavy mech to be the support for the Mackie, and I can't remember the next mech.
But if it has jump jets, according to Dan's sheet, I guess I have to look up improved jump jets to see if their weight is changed by that.
These are prototyped improved jump jets, so everything you know about jump jets doesn't work.
Yeah, but
you have
no Dan's sheet, which is linked on the Discord now, correct?
Yes.
Perfect.
But the prototyped improved jump jets are 1 critical slot and 1 ton.
Gotcha.
So he has 6 of those in 2 external boosters on the back.
I like the idea of a Griffin, but every time I field it, those problems that I notice just stare at me in the face. So it makes me hate it.
And it's about feelings, guys.
So, like I said, the Super Griffin is my way to kind of, it's an easier pill to swallow than a regular Griffin. I will say, I think it's very funny that we all came to the table independently and we brought 3 PPC focused sniper mechs that we just feel aren't good enough snipers to hold that role.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I mean, to be honest, Justin was wrong about his, but
that's true.
You're wrong about yours.
The other two.
He just needed a medium laser thrown on, and it's great. The Thorn, though, at 20 tons, has an ER small laser, and no one likes that.
Yeah, I think we all agree that
I win the hate competition.
Yeah, everybody hates the Thorn. Agreed.
Yeah.
Cursed mech, yeah.
Alrighty. So, think we got time for 1 or 2 more. So I will bring up the next Tukid special, in my opinion, which is the Wyvern.
Why?
Yeah, exactly. Why do I have a Wyvern and still don't like it? Well, I have a Wyvern because it's, like I said with the Thorn, it's a Tukid upgrade where they threw a bunch of spare technology onto a medium mech that was never meant to fight the clans and said, here you go. Have fun with it.
Did you buy a Wyvern or did I?
I have a Wyvern. I bought the C-3PO looking Wyvern.
Yeah.
Right. I still have my Wyvern. It's in my Legion of Vega. Yeah.
What variant are we talking about?
I'm talking about all the variants, but
Okay.
Exactly. That
Okay.
I'm familiar with the intro tech one. That's about it.
Yeah, the intro one has 136 points of armor. It's a 464, so it's very slow. And it has a large laser, 2 small lasers, an SRM-6, and an LRM-10.
It's a great mech.
Yeah, I'm not.
Anyways, City Fighter.
He's a little bit slow for a medium, but he's got jump jets, so that helps.
I love this mech. I love the Wyvern, even with its terrible sculpts that I have.
I mean, how many heat sinks does it have? 12?
Not enough, but you know.
No. Compare this to a Phoenix Hawk. This is better than a Phoenix Hawk.
I could hear people crying out.
Please send fan mail to ontheoriginpodcast@gmail.com. No, I'm serious. No, I'm joking. Really,
the Phoenix Hawk has got the mobility over it for sure, but the Phoenix Hawk can't jump and fire its large laser.
No, it's a toasty boy.
Yeah,
this guy can.
This guy's role is definitely short range. I don't want to say brawling. I don't want to call it a brawler, but it's a backstabber. It's meant to fight with the front line. And
he's got that LRM-10 until he can get close enough to just murder people.
Yeah.
He exploits the holes that the Warhammer put into all the other mechs.
Denham and Dustin are like, Josh, what did the Wyvern do to you? Tell us.
I see either way too good success with this or way too bad success, or way too bad failure, I should say.
All right. That's
it's sink or swim.
I can see it dying very quickly to do anything faster. But
what is this? But if it's a 45 tonner? Yeah,
if it does get a good shot off, I mean, it can do a lot of damage to so many lighter mediums and light mechs.
It's a good bracket build too. I like it.
Get behind. I guess the problem is it is a bit slow, so it needs people to not shoot at it until it gets close.
I might be biased in my opinion because I remember when we were running our like proper lockdown Mega Mech campaign games. This is what I upgraded to. From a Hornet. And at that point I had like jumping jack and something else. So a rock star with jumping jack, any mech with jump jets is a rock star with jumping jack. Come on.
Well, yeah. Once we get into talking about pilot skills and things like that's a whole different ball game. You can pick some really good pilot skills to make even a bad mech an awesome mech if you do it right.
A few of the other variants, they really they don't change too much. I want to say original Star League one has the Indo steel, so it has a little bit more weight. So they throw in case, and that kind of solves the explodey problem. and
Yeah.
they max out the armor essentially. So at that point, it's I want to say as good as it could be. The Royal throws on a large pulse laser instead of a large laser. So then if you're jumping, you can do a lot more damage. And I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah. I think I'm definitely put a Wyvern with a large pulse laser on the table, probably this one. And I felt pretty kneecapped by the fact that it could only reach out to 10.
So hold on. You said there's a city variant of this?
Ooh.
Yeah, so
it has what?
Hold on. Look, I'll finish. So then the
Let
two.
me finish.
Yeah, let me finish. Let me finish on why I have a Wyvern and I still don't love it. Why if in real life and the government was like, "Hey kid, we got you this Wyvern mech," and I was like, "Nah, I'll take the next whatever. I'm good." The Comstar one, which is the one I normally run for our Clan Invasion and right after games, has a large pulse, 2 medium pulses, a streak SRM2, and the LRM10, and that has the least amount of armor of them all. And
Woo, spicy.
yeah, exactly. It puts out a lot of damage, but it only gets 1 or 2 turns to even put out that damage if you hide it well. It's the ultimate ambusher, in my opinion.
It's an ambusher, yeah.
To go to Denham's thing, I feel like all problems are solved in the experimental TROs, and Dustin can hate on me all he wants, but you have an ER large, you have 2 SRM6s, and you have 2 vehicular grenade launchers, and a supercharger. So you're now a 4-8-4, which now you can move along the roads to get to where you need, and then use those few jump jets to get behind whatever you're fighting.
Double heat sinks, so you can shoot everything.
Exactly.
My problem with this city variant is that its model designation is the WVE-5UX, which makes it look like Wyvern sucks.
I mean, when the developers, throw in, I'm like, I needed that in there for people to know. It's like, what is it? The RoboCop, the SUX 9000, the car.
That's exactly what I thought about.
Okay, cool. I'm not the only one here.
And your Sunblock 9000.
Yeah. But I like this one because the 2 vehicular grenade launchers, and that just throws in like weird fun stuff. Like you can take the frag, which is like anti-infantry murder raider, 2d6 damage. You can incendiary grenades, which are inferno grenades, smoke for smoke, and ECM grenades. So
no, this right here, you put some lights and sirens on it, and it's a pat labor. Like I don't know if you guys have ever watched that anime, but man, you turn on the supercharger and you're running through the city chasing down crime. We could do a whole like video about this.
I hate how wrong or how correct you are. This was what it was meant to be and what it was probably modeled after. How could it be fixed? I don't know. This is a weird one where it probably just needs 1 up in the speed, and I'd probably be fine with it. A 5.8.5.
Yep.
It's perfect the way it is.
Oh, so I'm crazy. I'm crazy, Dustin. I'm crazy.
You're crazy.
Wyvern good.
Wyvern good.
I certainly don't hate it. I think it could be faster, but I don't think it's a mech that I hate.
Okay. I will respect that. The clans
we're pretty good. Everybody so far is like, I hate this mech, and everybody else is like, what? You're wrong.
I will say,
except for the thorn.
Yeah, except for the thorn.
No, that's garbage.
The
you
clans
still win, Josh.
The clans took the thorn and they were like, no, we can do better. We can do better. The clans took the Wyvern and like, we're gonna make a 2C. We love the Wyvern. But yeah. All right. So I'm 1 for 2. Dustin, give us your next one. Give us the controversial.
Yeah. You guys are gonna roast me for this one. The Summoner. So I feel like it's like a heavy skirmisher. And it's a clan mech, so it's expensive. You got to be thrifty with your clan mechs. And I feel like it struggles a little bit with its role. It has a fair bit of armor. I don't think it's maxed out, but it's close. But I feel like it just needs a little bit more armor might help with its heavy skirmisher. I don't mind its movement profile. 585, especially at its weight, is good. But when I put the Summoner on the table, I just feel like it underperforms for me in my feelings zone. Maybe it's because it's got, a couple of hard hitting weapons. It's such a heavy mech, and it's got 3 sets of dice to roll, right? You get the ERPPC, the LB10X, and the LRM15. So maybe it's because it feels bad when you miss with those and you're jumping this guy because it's doing its thing as a heavy skirmisher. And even with a clan pilot, it can be kind of hard to hit when you're jumping. What do you guys, before we move on to the variants section,
All right,
tell me why I'm wrong. Tell me why
sitting
I'm wrong.
down?
I'm ready.
All right. So, Summoner, the Thor, love that mech.
You love it?
On paper.
Love it.
The idea of it, every time I've put it on the field, I've hated it.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
I'll tell you why.
Why
First
is that?
of all, it is missing 35 points of armor, which is a lot.
I mean, it's
a fair amount.
It's got 84% of what its max can be. So
I know, but for what it is, like it's supposed to be in there as a skirmisher. It needs
some validation.
Here's the other thing.
It's not a skirmisher. It's not a skirmisher.
It's a skirmisher. It's a heavy skirmisher.
It's supposed to be. I mean, none of its weapons have minimum ranges, and it's got a shotgun, so that's close range blasting.
Yeah.
And that's my other problem with the mech, is it's got the ERPPC, it's got the LRM15, and it's got the LB10X, which I love because I love options. But it doesn't give you options. It only has 1 ton of ammo in its cluster. So you don't get to hit it with 10-point slugs until it has holes in the armor, and then hit it with the LB10X. You can only fire it in shotgun mode. So it's the ERPPC is the one punch weapon. Everything else is just splash damage, scatter damage. Like you have to roll on the cluster table for 2/3 of its weapons. And it just feels like on paper, it looks great. But when I field it, it just feels underpowered and it doesn't do what I want it to do. So I think I hate it a little bit.
I think I hate it.
I love how it looks.
Thanks, I hate it.
Thanks, I hate it. Josh, how about you?
I like it. I like that it is the prime variant has the sniper, like the hole puncher, and then I feel like the big problem is you have to commit before the battle the ammunition, and I'm like, I'm fine with committing to either slug or canister rounds. Yeah. And I don't mind that. Why it has 2 LRM15s.
Because you only get 8 shots.
Yeah, I understand that. Like this is you hope the battle is over by the time that it's getting into the thick.
Yeah, it's built on clan, dueling doctrine. So
yeah, and for that, it's perfect.
Yeah.
So I don't understand why Dustin doesn't love it. I mean, he does his little AC2 shots from across the field. He should be going, an LB10X with only cluster rounds. I'm going to get headshots all day long. So
AC2 is not an LB10X. The feelings are different.
No, it's like 5 LB2 or to 10. No, 5. It's like 5 LB2s.
So if we talk about a variant, I do like to put the A on the table. So it switches.
I knew you would say the A. I knew it.
Yeah. I mean, who doesn't like the A?
It's A, the one with the Gauss rifle and the large pulse.
Yeah.
I like that. Like it's only a 6 though, right? It's not a streak. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think it's just an SRM6.
Yep.
But still, the Gauss rifle and the large pulse. It's weird though. It's still weird because it doesn't have like when I'm fighting with a mech, I like to have, here are my weapon groups. I fire this at here and I fire this here, and I'm just not rolling enough damage with the summoner. I'm just not like I roll for the Gauss rifle, and then my large pulse has completely different 2 hit numbers. So it just feels
not good.
It feels odd.
This one feels a little better for me, but I do remember distinctly we had a game, I think it was you and I, Josh, where we rolled on this, random match table that's floating around on the internet. We got a commander versus commander game. So it was your Highlander versus my Summoner A. Do you remember this game?
I do.
Your Highlander won out. I feel like it was pretty close, but yet once again in that game, I was like, man, it's a clan machine. It would break the aesthetic of the mech. But, swapping one of those 3 weapons out for like a brace of medium lasers, ER medium lasers.
Just pop on a Stormcrow arm or something.
Yeah. You could drop the LRM and just like, boom, medium lasers. And yeah, it's a totally different mech, which is always the problem. But I feel like, go ahead.
I just love that it has 30 it has 2 tons of SRM6 ammo for a total of 30 volleys and 1 ton of Gauss rifle for
It is
8.
tight on the Gauss.
So
Or if they had reversed that,
it reversed it, and it's
15
perfect.
and 16, it'd be perfect. Yeah. Well, just one other reason.
So we already talked a little bit about how it could be.
Who is
fixed.
my logistics officer here? Who gave me 2 tons of this and 1 ton of that?
1 ton of my primary weapon that I can shoot at range while we close, 8 shots, SRM6. Anyways, we already talked a little bit about how it could be fixed. Another thought I had for fixing this mech. I know it's blasphemy because clan mechs are supposed to go fast and they're supposed to be expensive. But I feel like it could be dropped to a 464 and boom, max armor, boom, more close-in weapons. And now you've got a probably more expensive, but also more badass and probably makes you feel better heavy skirmisher for the clans.
Take a Dashi then.
But that's a 3.5.
Oh, well.
Take an Iron Cheetah.
There you go.
I don't know what that is. It doesn't exist for me yet.
Soon.
Well, you should pick up your rec guide today.
Yeah, I know.
But
I did.
I feel like a
Yeah.
4.6 would solve its problems as a mech, but it would then make it a bad clan mech. Like, it would be the slow boy running laps on the battlefield, and everyone's like, hey.
Kurt's elementals would just swarm it.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's true.
You-
Denham, how about you? Outside of swapping some ammo around?
I don't know. I want it to be like it is, but I want it to work better. This is the mech that I want to love. And like I own several of them, but anytime I put them on there, it just feels wrong.
Feels bad.
So I don't know how to fix it because I don't want to fix it. I want it to be like it is, but I want it to be good just all by itself. So I don't have an answer for how to fix it. I will just be sad. That's all.
Okay. Well,
I'll still field it, but I'll hate myself for
Are
it.
there any
so
variants
you
you
also
like?
love to hate it.
Yeah, I mean,
Negative Ghost Rider.
there's so many variants. Like there's a U variant.
Underwater baby. There's a U for everything.
Yeah. A torpedo 15 launcher.
Mhm.
Yep.
See, Catalyst is pushing for aerospace, and I say, no, we're going the wrong way. We need to start doing underwater.
Why didn't I get a sub with my Kickstarter?
The D is a really good, well-rounded one for fighting against the inner sphere because it's got the AMS and the machine guns, but it has, 2 ER large, 2 ER medium, nice balanced thing. But that doesn't feel like a summoner to me. That doesn't have the lightning and thunder that the summoner, the Thor is supposed to have.
Yeah. It's a classic problem.
So I don't want it to be changed. I want it to be the
And
Thor.
this is why I love to hate it, because the mech's got aesthetic. It's got a flaw. I love mechs with a flaw.
Well, this is a mech for you.
Yeah, I love to hate it. I put it on the table. I will continue to do it because it's cool, and it will continue to make me feel a little bad.
You know what? I'll take the C. I'll take the C.
It's like the C.
Yeah, it's the Ultra AC20, ER large, ER small, and the Streak SRM6.
I like how they give you 2 tons for the Ultra, and it shoots twice as fast. So they might as
well only get 5 shots.
Somebody really hates this mech ammo-wise, and I don't know why.
Ultra ACs jam just as well as Intersphere ones do. They don't get a bonus on those like they do with every other weapon. So that is a flaw. So there's your flaw. But I love the idea of the Prime, but if I was to take one, I would take the C.
Yeah. No, I'd agree. I would go with the C as well. If one were to show up in front of my doorstep, would I turn it down? No.
Oh, man, I'd pilot that to work every day.
Exactly.
This is a daily driver.
Well, I want to hear what other people have to say about our mech choices. I want to hear either email or Discord. I want to know.
Tell us
I
what
want to know
you
why
love to
I'm
hate.
wrong.
As
Because I'm not.
Change my mind.
I can't wait for this Griffin 1 versus is it a stinger or a wasp? Which stinger are you taking? SRM
I think
2-pack?
I think I'd actually prefer the wasp. Honestly.
Okay. the Stinger and the Wasp are virtually the same. Like,
yeah, they're identical except for one's got a machine gun and one's got an SRM2 in the legs.
Yeah. I think that
I'll take the SRM2, so I think that's a Wasp.
Yeah. Okay. I'm excited for it. I'm hyped.
But yeah, so let us.
They both have to have the same pilot and gunnery.
Yeah.
Like
We'll
they
take,
like that.
you know,
That's
4
the same.
5s.
Yeah. Okay.
Well,
Even better.
Yeah. That's the bog standard. You gotta start at the baseline.
Yeah. So I think next time you hear from us, we'll have Rec Guide 20 in our hands. And after that, hopefully everyone will be having their Wave 2 in hand. I know.
I hope so, guys. I hope everybody gets it.
Yeah. So
is Rec Guides every week or every other week?
now they're every other week.
Okay.
They changed that just due to the amount they were having to put out.
Okay.
So
but this is the last wave before they're all done, and then they do a compilation of them all.
Correct.
Oh, thank God. I feel like I'm on the outside looking at him like,
They're so good. They're so good.
It's all my fault too.
Alrighty. No, sounds good. Dustin, Denham, thanks for being on again this week and talking about the mechs that we hate individually and why we are wrong to hate these precious gems of the battlefield.
Except the Thorn.
Yeah. It's not an ugly duckling. He's a swan.
All my homies hate the Thorn.
Yeah, except the Thorn. We finally found one mech we could all agree to hate. I'd like to thank all of our Patreon supporters for continuing to let us do our fun faux commercials. If you have any events that you are aware of or planning, shoot us an email. We will get them added to the BattleTech calendar, which we will hopefully start distributing and promoting more to on other places of the internet. You can reach us at the Mechbay Podcast at gmail.com or on Facebook at the Mechbay Podcast. Until then, everyone, remember, through salvage, all things are possible.